Hey everyone, it's Audrey. Thanks so much for tuning on in today to Permission to Hustle. Today's video is about self-care for entrepreneurs. Now, I spend a lot of time, in particular myself, talking about why it's important to take care of your body, mind, and soul as an entrepreneur. A lot of the times, people don't realize that those pieces are vital to your business growth. If you are not feeling great, if you are not feeling good, if you are feeling sluggish, if you're sick, if something's going on, it translates into every aspect of your life. So business and your job would 100% be one of them. But I wanted to talk today beyond just taking care of your actual body. I wanted to talk about self-care for you on a level of truly, your mind and your soul. And I'm a big proponent. I talk about it all the time. I talked about it last week. I've talked about it in various videos and podcasts, why working out is so important, what it does for you, why it's good for you, beyond just the fact that it's good for you for your business. It's good for you on every aspect of your life, right? Taking vitamins, eating healthy, making sure you're, really doing what you can to put yourself in the best possible position ever. Not only for you, but for your family and your friends and for your business. But I wanted today's video to really just be about self-care for you. Because a lot of the times, and I am at fault at this. I can't even say that I'm not. I'm a mom. I have 5 kids. Right now, my kids range in age from 6 all the way up to 15. So I'm like the first person that's going to say to you, yeah, of course, I'd love to go to bed at 8:30, but guess what? I can't. I have 5 kids. My kids are up late. My son has swimming for his high school until 9:15, 3 nights a week. I mean, we can always come up with so many different excuses, and not even excuses. It's just called life. It's just the way it is. But I really wanted to talk about self-care today because there are things that you can be doing in your life to really make sure that you're giving yourself enough self-care. And I am not adding in the self-care portion of it of working out. I really want to talk about other ways that you really can be bringing in that self-care to your mind, really in just a variety of different ways. You don't have to do all of them, but I really encourage you to listen to the 5 that I'm going to talk about today and really try to do at the very least one of them. Because I do feel like it is important for us to make sure that we are giving ourselves self-care as we are growing our businesses, as we are working, for ourselves. Even if you are in corporate America, or if you work in, if you're a teacher, whatever it is what you do, you need to make sure that you're taking care of you. So here we go. Okay. So number 1, I have them all written down in my notebook to the side. So if you see my eyes going down, you know why. The first one, break for lunch. Now, I know that a lot of people laugh at this, and every time I talk with Vera about this, she even laughs at me because I sometimes forget to break for lunch. This is important because, and I always talk about this scenario. When you're in school, if you have kids, my kids all go to school, there's a break for lunch. It might not be a long lunch, but it's a good 20-minute lunch break. And what is the point of that, right? Well, it's stopping during the day of their classes, it's sitting down, it's regrouping, and it's giving themselves fuel in their bodies to then go along for the rest of the day. So in my kids' lunches, I like to pack fruits and vegetables. I pack them sometimes somewhat sugary, sugary crap, right? But that's usually a special treat. But the point being, they stop and they have a lunch break. It's called a lunch period or a lunch break, whatever it is that it is called at your kid's school or at your work. It's important to stop. I remember even when I worked for Dawn and Karen in New York City, every single day, Monday through Friday, I would stop and grab lunch around 12:30. Didn't matter if I was busy, didn't matter if it was snowing out, it didn't matter if I had someone to meet or not, I would break for lunch. There's something really important, not only for you just to be able to get that sustenance back into your body of whatever it is that you're eating, it's really good to take a mental break during the day. I think it's really important to be able to kind of just check out, especially if you're someone who is really, if you're crunching numbers, if you're doing lots of reading, if you're in front of a computer screen and typing and looking down all day. It really is a really great thing for you to just step away. And again, lunches don't have to be an hour. Lunch breaks can be 15 minutes, 20 minutes. During the day, I will stop and I'll click on, I'm going to be totally honest with you, I'll put on Hallmark. I'll either watch a quick little Golden Girls episode or I'll watch Murder, She Wrote, not a full hour, but I'll watch 15, 20 minutes. If it's a big news day, I'll pop on the news. Whatever it is, I'm giving myself just that quick mental, middle of the day lunch break. So if you don't build these in, and because I used to have literally Vera laugh at me or even my husband, I started just setting the alarm on my phone. If the day gets away from me, which 9 times out of 10, that's usually how the days go for me. All of a sudden, I work, my head down, I look up, it's got 1 o'clock. So I started just setting my alarm at around like 12:30 every day, because that's usually when I can feel my stomach start to get hungry. I stop for lunch at home. And it's the best thing that I can do for myself. So make sure that you are doing this. Talk about self-care at its finest. Break for lunch, okay? Number 2, you have to make sure that you know when to unplug. So I'm somebody who, I know myself. I could work 24 hours a week, 7 days, 24 hours a day, not just a week. I'm sorry, I work way more than that. I could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know that about myself. It's not good for me to work that much, okay? There are, so many other things in my life that are more important than a social media post or a blog post. They're my 5 children. It's my husband. It's my family. It's my friends. There are so many things that are important for me to make sure that I do and that I unplug, that work cannot control my life. And work should not control your life either. Work is a huge portion of all of our lives. And believe me, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm the sole provider of my family, and I do not work for a hobby. My goodness, no. Every single bill that comes into my home is dependent and riding on me working and on my shoulders. So when I say I could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I mean it in terms of true survival. I'm somebody that I know has a lot of pressure on me to provide. So therefore, when I don't work, I start to get those guilty, creeping feelings like, oh my God, I should be doing something. It's taken me a lot of time as an adult woman to understand that those feelings need to be pushed aside, because it is not good for me to be working that entire time. You need to unplug. You need to spend time with your family. You need to spend time with your friends. You need to laugh and to be carefree. You need to have dinner without your cell phone 2 literally seconds from your hands. And that is something that I feel like for self-care is a practical one that I feel like we all should know, but a lot of us don't practice it. Go out to dinner with, your family or your friend, and just look around the restaurant at like families or couples sitting together. 9 times out of 10, one of them is on the phone at least 2 or 3 times during dinner. And it's something that I'm really trying hard, especially now that my children are getting older. One of them's in high school. The time is short with them. Before long, they're gone off to college or off to get jobs, and life is not like it was when they were all little toddlers. So my advice to you for self-care is really make sure you are taking the conscious time to unplug. And I don't mean unplug by watching a movie on your couch with your phone on your hands. It's always funny to me when people tell me that they were off social media all day, but they posted all day. You really weren't off social media. You were on, but maybe you weren't as plugged in as you usually are. My advice at night, find something that it can unplug you. For me, when the kids come home from school, it is all about the kids, okay? And once I get them going with their homework or driven to where they need to be, I can go back to work. But around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, that is a vital time for me to unplug. I know that I'm already tired from the day. I'm getting older. I'm getting tired way earlier than I used to. And number 2, it's important for my brain to take a break. It's important, just like it's important for you to grab lunch during the day, in the middle of the day, to have that break. It's important for your brain to kind of turn off. Now, I'm somebody that loves to either read romance books. That could be an unplug for me. I will watch Heart of Dixie on Netflix or Golden Girls or a Hallmark movie. Whatever it is, you know what you do to unplug. My husband, he loves to play Pokemon Go. Yes, he's still an adult man that plays that game. But that being said, you know what kind of just allows you to not think, right? And truly just allow your brain and your mind just to veg. I mean, that's what it's really all about. So that is my second thing when it comes down to finding some self-care for entrepreneurs. Make sure you're working, being able to unplug into your life. The third thing, get a good sleep. Now, I know that my kids go to bed a lot later, but I really try my hardest to get a good solid 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. Now, a lot of us, as business owners and entrepreneurs, we go to bed with our minds spinning. Do whatever you have to do to kind of turn it off. We all know ways to kind of turn it off. Maybe again, it's reading at night. I know that when I read at night, after 2 or 3 chapters in a book, my eyes start to get heavy and I'm going to have a really good, great night's sleep. Find the ways they're going to work for you. Maybe it's a sound machine, whatever it is, but you really want to make sure you're getting a good, solid night sleep. That's really important. If you're not, why aren't you? What are the factors? Is it your pillow? Is it your mattress? Is it your sheets? Is it too hot in your bedroom? Is it too cold? Find what's happening and try to alleviate those things. Talk to your doctor. Getting a good night's sleep, it refreshes you, it refuels you. I mean, we all know when we wake up and we say and we feel that, oh gosh, I'm tired. I feel tired today. You're sluggish. You're not yourself. You're not as creative. You're not as motivated. You don't want that to be every day. So getting a good night's sleep is truly vital for your self-care. And I feel like, though I know it's not the easiest one to fix, it's an easy one to talk through because there are ways to really help yourself get a good night's sleep. Number four is one, and it all depends upon, obviously, what your beliefs are. But a really great self-care tip is to pray or meditate or just be able to be alone. And maybe it's the universe you're thanking, maybe whatever it is, have a greater purpose in order for you to either talk to or think about or meditate towards. Maybe you're in the bath at night and you can just kind of sit there for 10 or 15 minutes and kind of like clear your mind. Maybe you are someone that loves to go to church and pray. You don't have to be in church to pray. Maybe you're waking up in the morning and saying a prayer for the day, or maybe before bed, you're saying a prayer before you go to sleep at night. I feel like for self-care, it's really a great thing to be able to quiet your mind. Now, you can quiet your mind, again, in a variety of ways. Praying is one for me that I just genuinely love. When I'm driving, or if, again, I'm waking up in the morning or just going to bed at night, that's usually when I do it. For meditation, I know a lot of people really love the meditation or the practice of yoga in the morning. They can do it at home through video or just, again, taking 15 to 20 minutes of quiet solitude time, breathing in, breathing out, and allowing your body to really calm down. If you have a lot of stresses in your life with your job, I feel like this piece of self-care, the praying or meditation or just being alone and being able to kind of have somebody or something in your mind to talk to really does help you out. So again, depending upon your beliefs, depending upon what you're comfortable with, I urge you and I suggest and I encourage you to bring this piece into your life. Bring this practice into your life because it is a great thing to be able to give yourself just in terms of self-care. It's self-care, it's self-love, it's taking care of your mind and your soul. So make sure that you do what's good for you and what works for you, but really think of this, if you don't already, as an additional way to bring something into your life to really help with that self-care factor. And then the fifth thing, and a lot of the times we don't do this. When I worked for Donna Karan, my first job, again, fresh out of college, I remember the first time I ever got a bonus, and it was like $500, and it was the biggest deal ever for me because I wasn't making that much money at the time. So $500 was a big chunk of money for me at that time of my life. It was like someone giving me like $15,000 to $20,000 right now. It helped a lot. And I was able to kind of reward myself. I actually remember taking the subway home, and I had like no money at that point in my life to like eat out. And I remember going to a restaurant called Nico's down where I lived and actually just buying, my husband and I, he was my boyfriend at the time, we got a nice Greek dinner out. Nico's is our favorite Greek restaurant, and that's how we rewarded ourselves, or I did, for this little this bonus. Reward yourself. This is all about self-care too. A lot of the times we don't take a moment. Listen, when you work for yourself, you don't have anybody, you don't have a boss telling you that you did a great job. Maybe you have clients thanking you for what you did for them, but that day-to-day transaction is you, yourself, and I. So take the time to reward yourself. Maybe it's getting your hair done. Maybe it's getting a manicure or a pedicure. Maybe it's getting a massage. Maybe it's sleeping late. Maybe it's, instead of eating at home for lunch that day, you're going to go out and get a sandwich or a cup of soup somewhere. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is. There's so many different ways that we can reward ourselves, and it all depends on your interests and what you like. So I don't want to sit here and tell you how you should reward yourself, But whether it's a way that you're actually having to pay something, it's a monetary way that you're rewarding yourself. Maybe it's a particular handbag you want, or a shoe, or a jacket, or a blazer. Whether it's something that you want to buy for yourself, or just something that you just really, you know what, I'm giving myself today off. I don't, we don't get sick days and vacation days when you're entrepreneurs and owners of your own business. Even if we go away on vacation, we're still checking in. Even on a sick day, now you're sick about not working. So it never really equals out like it would if you actually had a job, or you could actually call in sick to and or take a solid vacation week and know that your work is potentially being picked up by somebody else. It's not like that when you're an entrepreneur. And that can be really stressful. So whatever way that you can reward yourself, I highly, highly, highly think it's important for us to give ourselves small rewards throughout our lives. Okay, nothing grand, nothing crazy. Actually, not too long ago, 2 years ago, I had been working really hard on really, I mean, again, I was working hard for a long time, and I wanted this particular Louis Vuitton bag. It was the artsy bag. I think it was about $1,500. And I knew that it wasn't practical. For years, it wasn't practical. And we were in Las Vegas for a friend's wedding, and we went into the Louis Vuitton store, and I had been setting money aside in a PayPal account, kind of just like rainy day money. And I remember my husband saying to me, you know what, you deserve that bag. Like, buy that handbag and allow it to be a physical representation of hard work, and that you've been doing this. Like, you have been the driver of this family for almost a decade now, and reward yourself in this way. And it's something that I never had done before, and I never wanted to do because I didn't want to feel guilt about it, but I did do it. And I'll tell you what, every time I see that bag, I smile, and it gives me determination and devotion and dedication to keep moving forward, to keep working hard for not only myself, but for my family. So maybe it can be something that you look at and you save up for as your reward. Or again, maybe it's giving yourself the day off, or instead of 20-minute lunch today, I'm going to take an hour. I want to watch the full episode of Housewives of New Jersey, and I want to veg, and then I'm going to get right back into what I need to do. Whatever it is, reward yourself. It's all about self-care and taking care of you. And sometimes, yeah, you have to be the one to pat yourself on the back, and you need to be the one that accepts that. So those are 5 ways that I really wanted to share with you how self-care for entrepreneurs is important, and it's something that we all should be doing. So if you're not, again, I hope one of these inspires you to do. And if you're doing any of these, good for you, and keep going. That's the way that we should. So make sure you follow us over on Permission to Hustle, our Facebook group. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos. Have a great day, guys. Bye.